It finished 38-8 with a try bonus point, obviously, for the Jaguares. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, best pledge rate predictions and opinions. And don't forget, hit the old subscribe below and that bell, because I'll be giving post-match reactions to Super Rugby games and also Six Nations games over the next few weeks. So don't miss any of those. Kicked off, and it was all a bit scrappy and messy early on, wasn't it? Let's be honest. We had an injury stoppage after like 33 seconds, and I mean, one of the players came back on. But that very soon after that, Minotti came on, who had a fantastic game playing at fly half for the Jaguares. So really good game for him, controlling things around the pitch. As I say, the Lions, especially early on, really were error-strewn. We saw a pass thrown straight into touch. We saw a winger catch the ball and carry it into touch from a clearing kick under absolutely no pressure. We had another player driving through the ruck and tackling a player, taking the 9 out without the ball. It was all really messy and all a bit poor by the Lions early on. Yanchis also missed an easy penalty. His kicking wasn't there, which doesn't help either. So yeah, so really this was a very, very rusty Lions side early on. As James says in the live chat, is that the Lions got pasted, and they did, especially in that second half. Remember, at half time, this was only 10-8. It was a 2-point game at that point. So it really was the second half where the Jaguares really just took this game away from the Lions. In that first half, they were still in this one with those mistakes. The Jaguares were playing well, but they were giving up silly penalties in that first half as well. And the final penalty count was 11-7, but something like 9 of those penalties from the Jaguares were in that first half. They really did switch things up after half time. In that first half, they'd go through all the phases and then give up a penalty, which would allow the Lions to come out. But with the Lions, okay, again, these stats dropped off towards the end, but the Lions only made 77% of their tackles, which really meant that the Jaguares could get forward and could do that kind of things. There was a stage where the Jaguares were struggling to with the Lions quick ball at the breakdown, but that only lasted in that first sort of 10 or 20 minutes or so. After that, Jaguares slowed it down, and the Lions just were running into a brick wall. So the first up tackling by the Jaguares was really, really good. It did look messy in that first half from the Jaguares, but that's how the Jaguares like to play. They want to play at pace, throwing offloads, keeping that ball alive, and so playing really well by the Jaguares. Even if it did look messy at times, it meant that this Lions side got tired, and we saw the results of that in that second half, didn't we? There was a lot of Lions scramble defence in that first half, and they just couldn't keep that up in the second. In my halftime tweet was that lots of endeavour, lots of errors, and there were lots of errors from both sides. Jaguares mainly because they're trying to play at pace, the Lions because they're just on a bit of a mess. Some of the comments that we've had, I've seen, are that this is a Lions Curry Cup team. Now what we're seeing here is partially the impact of the salary cap that is self-imposed by the South African sides. Now, the 4 Super Rugby teams and the 2 Pro 14 teams have got a set salary cap at the maximum they can spend. So that's part of why you're seeing these really young sides out of South Africa, and that's what you're going to see here as well. The couple of people here got themselves some bets on with the TAB, with whichever bookmaker they use on the Jaguares. I'll be publishing my post DrivingMaul versus the bookie in the next sort of hour or so to show you how all my bets went with Super Rugby over the weekend. A good weekend for me. One thing I would say is please always gamble responsibly. Only use money that's do it more for fun than don't go chasing your losses. If you need helplines, I have those on my articles as well. So we had all that, and coming to the second half with that yellow card for the Jaguares for taking a player out next to the ruck. You did wonder if discipline was going to be an issue for this Jaguares side. They also got warned for late tackles as well, and the referee was starting to lose his patience with some of the stuff that the Jaguares were doing. But they maintained that discipline, they improved things up, and they got their rewards. The first try, second half, absolute beauty. Go back and look at it, because it's wonderful. We've had a few interception passes this weekend. Had a few people playing close to the line and getting it wrong. Here was one where the Lions really were trying their line speed at that point, and they had good line speed. There were Lions players all around the passer and the person who collected the ball, but the pass was spot on. Could easily been intercepted, and it could have if it hadn't been, and we could have had a different result there. But the pass was perfect. Was taken at pace, good step around the last defender, and under the posts, Moroni went for his first try. 17-8, and that suddenly opened up some breathing space for the Jaguares. Before that, it had all been really close, but it took them until the 50th minute or 49th minute to do that. Yes, it was. That was really good for them. Then the Lions, it all started to go wrong then around the hour mark. The Lions lost the line out. Jaguares took it up the middle. Player really managed to release the ball, pick it back up, kept going again, spun it wide. And the Lions had all the players there. They had them all matched up. It was all defense, all looked good. Then Moroni did his thing, hands in the air, played around a player, just danced his way through to score the try. 2 tries by Moroni on the 50th, 49th, and the 60th minute, and this game was suddenly gone. 24-8 at that point. The Jaguares then got their try bonus point by cutting the Lions to pieces around the ruck time again, inside ball to another player, and there was a line out more towards the end, which made it, say, 38-8. But it was that one-way traffic in that second half. One of the things that happened, look, 91% tackling by the Jaguares through this game, and it was solid in that second half. The Lions were just getting no change out of that first up tackling, and they just couldn't cope with that. Their lineouts, they lost 3 lineouts. Say one of them led to a try. They really did fall to pieces in that second half when they tired. 77% tackling, so they missed what was it now? A whopping 37 tackles in this game. If you're going to do that against a side like the Jaguares, who do like to throw it around and can got those skills to cut teams to pieces, then you're going to do that. That's you're going to see that. So players and the other one, clean breaks, 13 by the Jaguares, only 3 by the Lions. Yes, that back play really worked wonderful. And Moroni, not Moroni, sorry, I've gone blank as to the player that came. Minotti, sorry, was it Minotti? Yeah, Miotti, sorry. Miotti, the scrum, the fly half cone, had a perfect day with the kicking boot as well, which helps. Elton Yankees only hit 1 in 3. Only hit 1 in 3 of his. So that's the every chance they got. Not every chance they took. That's not fair. They butchered some chance in the first half. But every kick at goal they took all their points and leave points out there. The Lions, look, in that second half they had their opportunities. They had a 5-metre line out, they lost. They marched themselves down into the Jaguares' heart into 22, but just couldn't get across the line. They weren't clinical enough to do that. Some of the stats that are going to really stand out when I look at the defending, look at them, are going to be those defensive ones in there. Kramer, 16 tackles, okay, he missed 3. Montoya, 14. Medrano, 12. That front row really put in a shift of work. They're doing a shift of work around the park, but their scrummaging did leave something to be desired at times. So yes, the Jaguares, this is not a finished Jaguares side by any stretch. There's definitely stuff they can improve on. That scrum was vulnerable at times, and they did try to play perhaps a bit too quickly at times. On the Lions side, Schumann had a good game, 12 tackles, non-missed in there from that point of view. But you've got players like, Buffelli was active, but 4 turnovers conceded. So he was definitely very active attacking, but he got isolated too much with that with the ball. I mean, 78 metres run, but yeah, say those turnovers, not a bit of a problem there. A bit like Matthews as well. Actually, Ori was actually the worst one, the lock for the Lions. 5 turnovers in this game. You can't afford to be turning over the ball that much. 6 carries, 5 turnovers. Really, Ori, that's pretty criminal there. He's got to learn to be able to hold on to that ball better and protect it in contact, because he had a bit of a poor day at the office. Players that didn't, we also already talked about. Moroni obviously did. In fact, that entire back line on the attacking point of view, and then defensively, the forwards put in a big shift with those big hits. As I say, that yellow card was a bit pointless, and the Jaguares improved their discipline in the second half, but they needed to, because they were starting to get blown off the park a bit. Kramer, 3 penalties in there. Lozano, a couple as well, in there as well. So they got it. That's an area they're going to want to tidy up for them. For the Lions, it's going to be that gain line. You've got to get over that gain line. You can't just be bashed like that, like they were in this one. Now, either Yankees has got to take hold of it and just kick to the corners and force the opposition back. But the problem was the Jaguares weren't kicking it back. You'd lose. You might lose. You might not see the ball for quite a long time. So if you are going to kick, it's got to be direct. Actually, I'm surprised at this. 65 kicks between them, 34 by Jaguares, 31 by the Lions. It's quite a lot of kicking in a game. But but if it was that kicking needed to be a lot better from that point of view, and it was a very hot day there. But yeah, first up tackling for the Lions, and they've got to somehow get over that gain line, because if they don't, it's going to be a long old season for them with this. They really got smashed in that second half. They haven't got the depth. One of the points that was made was that 7 out of 8 of the Jaguares bench had international experience. Well, that was not what that was. The Lions bench, very inexperienced setup. Not just compared to the Jaguares bench, but just an inexperienced bench. Full stop. The Lions have lost a lot of talented players over the last 3 seasons, and yeah, they are into really rebuilding mode. Even if there are a few there that we do recognise. So to sum it up, well done, Jaguares. One of the 3 teams. Well, there are 4 teams really that we picked out pre-season that have got a good chance in this. The Crusaders got themselves a tri-bonus point against the Waratahs. The Stormers, very good display against a poor Hurricanes. I've not actually watched that game yet. That's the only one I've not seen. I'm going to have to go back and watch that one. But from what I understand, yeah, a very good hit out by the Stormers there. And here we have the Jaguares tri-bonus point against the Lions. So 3 of the 4 teams that we picked out as being contenders for this competition in the Crusaders, Stormers, and Jaguares all stood up and got big results. The 4th team was the Chiefs, and we did say that they might take a while to get going. They didn't get the tri-bonus point, but they still got the win away to the Blues in that derby game, 29-37. So, yeah, the 4 teams that we thought would challenge this year are the 4 have all started well. Keep your eyes on those. Surprise this weekend: Sunwolves top the Australia Conference. Oh boy, that conference is going to be a lot of fun, even if they're not going to be there at the pointy end of the season, by the looks of things. So, yeah, it's been a fun weekend of rugby. Still got England versus France at 4 a.m. in the morning. Jeez, what am I doing to myself? To come tonight as well. So I'll be doing live post-match reaction to that one. To do, I've got a friend from France who's going to be who lives in France, who's going to be joining me, so she can cover off on all of those sort of players, and so we're going to have that all angles covered there. So please do join me live straight after France versus England in the Six Nations. As I say, hit subscribe and the old bell down below. Finally, prediction. I mentioned, say, a few people being going to the TAB. All my predictions you can find at DrivingMaul.com. So go and check out the website, please. Also, there are videos and other articles on there as well. So, great opening weekend of rugby for Super Rugby and also Six Nations. It's been an absolute blast Still got one more game to go. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed my coverage. You can also get me at DrivingMaul on Twitter. Tweet drawing games as well. So thank you everyone who's joined the live shows, and everyone who's watched the recordings as well. It's been a blast, and catch you. Hope you're enjoying the rugby, and hopefully you catch the shows later on.